You are live.
All right. Hey, how are you? Mel Robbins here. I was just looking for something. Mel Robbins here. You're watching Coffee Talk. This is my weekday broadcast. I'm a international best-selling author of a book called The 5-Second Rule. I also do a lot of exclusive audiobooks with my partners at Audible. So Kick-Ass was a #1 new release, Take Control, another one new release, and we've got a new book coming out in October called Work It Out, which is all about the new rules of women and work. Speaking of work, you are in my new office, which I have not put together yet. The phone is on the floor. And this is not the desk. It's all coming together. Those are photos from home that I'll be getting on the wall at some point. But you're in my new office. This is the home of the Mel Robbins Show. What is the Mel Robbins Show? Yep, there are my sparkle sneakers. Got to bring the other 5 or 6 pairs down the next time I come. What is the Mel Robbins Show? It is a brand new daytime syndicated talk show. What does that mean? That means starting September 16th, I will be on television 5 days a week. What am I doing? I am going to be giving real people just like you advice, a kick in the ass, tough love, and I'll also be there with my flashlight to help you, once you have the realizations that you need, take that next right step forward. Live audience, it's just like the old style talk shows. We're going to reboot it and give it a modern twist, and I'm going to be the host. And if you're interested in being in the audience and getting a free ticket, grab all your friends, go to melrobbins.com/TV, and you can sign up to get tickets. Or if you are really frustrated, if you're fighting with somebody, if you're stuck in your life, if you need my help, if you need advice, if somebody in your life needs a kick in the rear end and you can't do it, let me do it. Just go to melrobbins.com/TV and apply to be a guest on the show.
And the newsletter.
Oh,
out right
yeah.
after this.
And by the way, right after we're done with this, we're sending out my weekly letter. More than 400,000 people read it every single week. And this letter is super awesome because I'm talking about how you bucket. Just say bucket, right? What does that mean? You got to get on the newsletter list to read it. And trust me when I tell you, it'll take 3 minutes for you to read it. You will feel empowered, inspired. It's a really, really awesome one this week. How do you get on the newsletter? Go to melrobbins.com. Just put your name in the little email thing right there, and boom. You might even be in time to get on the list for today. Yes, you will, because we haven't sent it out yet. So get on it. I'm going to answer a question. It's a question you probably will be able to relate to. I actually could relate to it because I used to have this issue in my marriage, and it's something that my husband Chris and I continue to work on. And if you're interested in asking a question, just go to social media, use the hashtag AskMel, make sure you tag me so that my team can find the question, or apply to be a guest on the talk show at melrobbins.com/TV. So today's question comes from Vera. Mel, my husband never compliments me. How many of you are with somebody who never compliments you? Then, on top of never complimenting, her husband tends to say something negative. Well, that's sort of like a double whammy. That totally sucks. And then wonders why I get upset. I know you should value yourself and not depend upon the praise of others, but it's hurtful to never be appreciated. You know, there's one thing that Vera said that I don't agree with. I think that if you're in a romantic relationship, you should feel appreciated. And if you don't feel appreciated, there's something that you need to do. And what I love about what Vera's doing is Vera is talking about the problem. My husband never appreciates me. But when you start to hang out with me, Mel Robbins, you're going to find that I always raise solutions that give you the power to change. And so Vera, number one, you're going to have to train your husband. I don't know what kind of household he grew up in. Maybe he grew up in a household where the parents fought. Maybe he grew up in a household where he never saw them being affectionate. Maybe he grew up in a household where his dad treated his mom like the drinking buddy, hardy ha 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 ha, and is constantly kind of digging at her and joking, and I don't mean it. But over time it digs at you, doesn't it? Well, one of the most effective things that you can do is you got to sit down with your husband and you got to explain that this bothers you. You've got to explain that you want him to make an effort and compliment you. And one of the things that was transformative, because Chris never compliments me either. He's getting 1,000 times better at it, but for the first, I'd say 21 years of our marriage, I'm not sure I ever remember him going, wow, you look great. I mean, if I would egg him on and go, how do I look? What do you think? Do you like this? He'd be like, oh, you look beautiful, honey. But in terms of him naturally emoting the compliment or the expression about how I look to him, that was just not on his radar. And it used to really bother me. And it particularly bothered me when we were around other couples where one of the partners was like crazy complimentary of their partner, or pulling out the chair, or holding the door, or just doing these small things that really showed how attentive and adoring they were. And that, oh, of course, the second we'd be driving home, what do? You pick a fight. Yeah, that was me. So the thing that I'm going to tell you to do is what worked for me. It's just what I think is one of the most powerful books about relationships, and that's the book about love languages. And there are 5 love languages. And this was transformative for me because, back in the first 20 years of our marriage where I was like, what a jerk. The guy never compliments me. What an asshole. Like, he's not that nice to me. I was literally acting as if Chris was not doing it on purpose. And what I learned through reading the Love Languages book is that it just wasn't the way he expressed his love. You see, there are 5 ways that people express love according to love languages. One is physical touch. Another one is quality time. Another one is acts of service. Another one is gifts. And the 5th one is words of affirmation. And that's what you're looking for. You're probably married to somebody that expresses his love through physical touch or quality time or acts of service. And what I realized is I'm not married to somebody who expresses his love language. Chris's love language isn't naturally words of affirmation. It's acts of service. And what's interesting is that we got into this breakdown because I want words of affirmation just like you do, Vera. I want to be told that you love me. I want to be told that I look good. I want to be told that you care about me and that you're thinking about me. I also express my love in terms of giving gifts. Chris, my husband, acts of service, and acts of service, by the way, might be walking the dog. It might be mowing the lawn. It might be picking up one of the kids. That in doing all those things that you do in a partnership, that those are ways that he expresses his love. Another one is physical touch. And what was happening is he was communicating at this level, I'm communicating at this level, and so funny enough, he's feeling like I don't care about him because he would prefer more physical touch, and I feel like he doesn't care about and really doesn't appreciate me because I would like more words of affirmation. And so what you two need to do is go online and take the quiz, because I think when you understand how your husband expresses love and how he would like to receive it, the two of you can get on the same page about one another's needs. Because I bet you that your way of expressing your love might not be the love language that he hears either. And so go online, just Google Love Languages quiz. You can take it, you can figure it out, super eye-opening. And you also have to have the harder conversation. Not the one, you never compliment me. That was what I would do. You gotta have the one about your feelings. It hurts. It makes me feel invisible and unattractive. And then when you pick on me, it makes me feel even worse. Could you stop doing it? Could you maybe, tell me you love me? Could you maybe compliment me? And one of the other things that I'll tell you that was an awesome trick is, since I want to be told that I'm beautiful, that I'm appreciated, that I am loved, guess what helped to teach Chris how to do it? I started doing it more and more to him. I would leave little notes in his journal a couple pages away from the day that he was on. I would leave a post-it note on the kitchen countertop or on his bathroom mirror. I would leave a little note in a book that he's reading. Little words of affirmation. And you know what happened? Chris went away to take our son Oakley this week and a bunch of Oak's friends up to his mom's house in Vermont. And when I came home after they had left, there on the mirror in my bathroom was a note that said, "You look beautiful and I love you." Now it took a couple decades. And I say that not to make Chris wrong. I say that because I want you to understand anybody can change their patterns. Anyone. Even if you've been doing something one way for 20 years, you and your partner can change how you talk to each other. You can figure out your love languages and then have that as a way to be able to speak together about what you both need. And when he figures out his love languages, just like you want him to listen and you want him to pivot and you want him to break the pattern of not speaking his love for you, you're going to need to do the same thing when you discover what his love language is. All right, I hope that helps. It's a huge weekend here in New York City. It's Pride, so I want to wish everybody out there happy, 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 happy Pride. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I'm super excited to be in New York City for it. If you need information on the television show, go to melrobbins.com/TV. If you want the newsletter that's about to go out, go to melrobbins.com and get on the newsletter list. And if you have any questions, make sure you use the hashtag AskMel on social media and tag me. That's it for me. In case nobody else in your circle of friends or family tell you today, please, please, please let me be the one that tells you that I love you. And I believe in your ability to change your life and to change how you think. And that's exactly why I'm here almost every weekday online. And I will be here every weekday on your television starting September 16th to remind you that no matter what you're facing, you got this. There are always things that you can do to take that next right step and change for the better. Have an awesome weekend, everybody.